let's talk about it in financial market terms or macro terms. I think there's three things you need to do here. One, income. Income rules the world. Income pays your bills. Income can pay your mortgage. Income does everything. Without income, you got nothing. Income takes hard work. It's hard to get up the ladder, earn more income. Secondly, is you need to have optionality. You need to have things that can pay off. A startup or a hobby business on the side can give you optionality because you can build a business, and a business has intrinsic value, plus it can increase your income. That will never happen if you work for a corporation. Yes, you can have a great career and do fine, but you'll never have that extra upside that you and I have had by building businesses. And then thirdly is, if I've got this income, look for investment opportunities that can change my life. And that doesn't mean being a degenerate gambler. It's like, simply put, if there is a thesis, for example, in cryptocurrency that you and I share, that this is a long-term network adoption of this incredible technology that is exponential in nature and highly volatile, you should be looking at the moments of extreme weakness, the blood on the streets moment, to be buying more, not on leverage, but just putting your money into it. So if you'd have bought a house after the 2008 crisis, you'd have done very well. If you'd have bought it at the peak, you'll have done less well, right? So timing matters. My framework is, this is a long-term trend, right? We've got at least another decade in this, at least, probably 2 or 3 decades. But this part of it is going to continue to do very well. Sure, Bitcoin over time, as it gets more users, more adopted, it won't go up as much each cycle, but there'll be plenty of others and plenty of opportunities. So what we should be doing is using this, thinking of the money you've put in as your retirement money and writing it off. And then just adding, if you've got money in a bear market. Now, the problem is most of us don't in a recession. But a friend of mine taught me very early on, he said, Raoul, there's a key thing I've learned is he who has cash in a recession is king. So that's that combination of income and opportunity. You've got income, you've got some cash, and now everything's on fire sale prices. You're the king. And if you were lucky enough, like you and I, to have bought slightly earlier in the cycle, then for goodness sake, don't look at your loss of wealth from peak. That's stupid. That's the American dream, fixating on something that doesn't exist. Think, okay, fine. I'm still in, I'm probably still up. Don't think, oh, my net worth's down 50%, this is the end of the world. No, that's not how it works. How it works is you need to be in it to win it. And you can't be in it to win it if you've got leverage or if you're out of the market. And so if you say to me, well, you know, that's difficult for people, sure, then put less in. It's as simple as that. You get to the point where you can sleep at night, then you've got the right size bet. And once you have made money and it's compounded, then don't look at it from the peak to trough. So one of the tricks I've learned with myself in a slightly different thing is wine. I love wine, and wine, good wine, is expensive. But it's a lot cheaper if you buy it early, when it comes out. So I bought, and I've just taken a delivery of stuff I bought 15 years ago. Now what I do is this little mental trick, which is I write off everything I pay for wine when I buy it. Because I don't see the wine for 15 years, so why do I care?
Whoa.
And so mentally it's gone to zero. So now I'm able to drink wine which I would never open because I haven't paid for it. I wrote it off. And it's really helpful to use mental tricks on yourself to stop yourself doing things you shouldn't be doing, which is selling at the low, buying at the high, or buying a bunch of wine and then not being able to drink it. And you actually buy it to drink it. I don't sell wine, but if I did, I would have just sold all my wine. I've never have tasted amazing wines. It's these mental tricks we have to play. You distance yourself from price action because your theory is that it's going to go from here to a lot further over time. That key word is over time. And we've all of us have said, and we know it does this a lot on the way. So then, if you know that, it's a known, why the hell when it happens, do people forget? It's so funny, when Bitcoin and ETH crashed last year, fell 55% from the high, I spoke to my wife and I'm like, God, everybody's freaking out, and she's like, why, what's happened? I said, well, it's down 50%. She said, but you said that's normal. And her exact words, so just shut the fuck up. You should be buying here, not freaking out. I'm like, yeah, true. Yes, and so let's look at other opportunities. So maybe not everybody likes crypto. Another thing that is patently obvious is technology is not going away. Now, it's not easy to pick the right technology stocks, much like it's difficult to pick the right NFTs or tokens unless you really know what you're doing or you know that particular company or that project. But if the thesis is that technology is going to continue to have this ridiculous adoption, whether it's AI, EV, whether it's robotics, whether it's genetic sciences, all of these things that are around us, space travel, well then, if it's being sold in a fire sale because everybody's panicking, well, surely that makes sense because technology has outperformed the market for the last 40 years. So you always want to be buying technology. So if you're thinking of your 401k, you're in your 30s, you look at your 401k and you've still got your income, because that's the most important thing of everything. You've got your income, you should be going, okay, I should be buying technology stocks and I should be buying crypto because these are long-term mega trends. Everything looks like the 1929 crash. Everything looks like we're going to go to World War II. Everything looks like, it's 2001 all over again. Yes, those things happen. But things go on. And if you'd bought tech stocks after 2001 crash, you'd be very, very wealthy indeed. If you think of Jeff Bezos, he launched Amazon, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, has his IPO. It explodes in price. Everyone's like, oh, amazing, an online bookseller. It then falls 96%. Right, so this is exactly what I went through in crypto. Exactly the same. And then what happened is, well, unlike most of his investors, he held on. And it went up a lot again. Still didn't make up the high. It fell another 80%. It went up again. It then fell 60%. And then before you know it, this online bookseller was suddenly worth more than all the bookselling companies in the world added together. And it was still trading at a price-earnings ratio of like 800. Everyone's like, this is crazy. This is a bubble. But what we didn't realize is he was building a network. This network for e-commerce. And then the computing power that drives it. And so over time, Amazon just did that. And these are the things you need to think about in this is, where are we in the volatility and is this going to survive? Those are the two questions. And if the long-term trend is there, then you should be buying into all of this.